Hello everyone, welcome to the Spotlight. Hit the like, favourite, subscribe if you're here for the stream. It's going to be a quick one this morning, so I've got to go to football. We're going to do the Spurs overview and player ratings. So I'll get straight into what I thought of the game. And the game of me was two teams who are where they're at. I would say there were two teams that are very similar. Two teams that seem to not be able to keep clean sheets, but on their day can have a game where we look like we could compete. But then you go into the next game and you think, where's it gone? Spurs beat City, demolished Everton. You think they're coming to Old Trafford with some momentum. Today they just looked poor. Kane and Son were non-existent, really. Whether that's down to United putting in a good shift and keeping them quiet, or whether it's just they've had an off day, you can make your own mind up, because you never know, because one day they're great, the next day they don't turn up. A lot like most of the United players. I mean, I think the first half was what it was. Dyer's handball. What I would say about Dyer's handball and not being a penalty is, are your hands in a natural position when you're holding your hands behind your back, try and block a shot, and they're not tight to you? For me, I think it's a pen. And that's not just being a Man United fan. If he's going to put his arms behind his back to try and block a shot like that, he needs to have them tucked into his back. They're hanging out from behind him. But we won't dwell on that. The Tellez one's a pen. It's always going to be a pen in this day and age. Where you think he can't get out of the way or not, with VAR and the way the current rules are, it's a pen. For me, the Dyer one is... I think if the Tellez one happened first and the pen was given, and then the Dyer one happened second, I think they'd have given a pen. But that's all I'm going to say on that. I think the first half was what it was, wasn't it? Ronaldo, absolute banger of a strike for the first one. Ridiculous. Unbelievable strike. Sue's back. Hat-trick. Never doubt him. I'll never doubt him. The greatest player of all time, in my opinion, always has been. And he's just absolutely incredible. Then they get back in the game with a penalty. Good penalty by Kane. You know, as I've just mentioned, it was definitely handball. And then we catch him on the not concentrating, a trait that probably Man United have as well, where we'll concede or we'll get back in the game and then we switch off and some poor defending let us in. That's all it was, that goal. It was poor defending on Tottenham's part, not concentrated, not in a line at the back. Ball over the top, Sancho's onside, and he does what Sancho does. He played a nice square ball into Ronaldo and he puts it in the net, as Ronaldo does. I mean, it's a good goal from a Man United point of view, catching him unaware on the break. Sancho's done what he's paid to do, get the ball in the box to Ronaldo, and he's put it ball in the net. First half was end-to-end exciting. The second half, I thought the first 20 minutes of the second half were absolutely awful from both teams. Like I said, it's two teams that are what they are. Neither can keep possession. They're always prone to a mistake, scrappy. Neither team had any control of that game for the first 20-25 minutes of that second half. It could have gone anywhere. The game was all over the place, poor. It was awful to watch. Honestly, I was falling asleep. I'd been out the night before, knackered, watching that in the second half. And then Maguire goes and sticks one in his own net. Woke me back up again when I got 100 messages on my WhatsApp about how crap Maguire is again. I mean, I can't really blame him for that one. All I'll say about Maguire is he's been criticised a lot for not defending balls on the floor across his own 6-yard box. There's the City one last week where he didn't kick it out. If you go back over Harry Maguire's defending, there'll be a lot where you see he lets the ball run past him on the front post for someone else to deal with. Today he's tried to deal with it and he's ended up putting it in his own net. I don't think he can be aware of, was it Emerson running in behind? he's got to go try and win that ball. And unfortunately, he's put it in his own net on a game where I won't say he was great, but I mean, he was just all right. He'd not done out too stupid. And then even when we win, he's still putting the frigging ball in his own net. I don't know how he's starting. Ronaldo obviously come back with a point to prove today, and Lindelof has been better than him, and Lindelof has shown that him and Varane have a good partnership. And it's no coincidence either, is it, that the two fullbacks are Telles and Dalot, and we just look better at the back. I thought Telles had a great game today. He just looked like he was on it. His delivery was good, defensive work, tenacious. The handball's a handball. I don't think he can get his hand out of the way. It's not his fault, it's just hit him. I think Dalot has shown today the reason why Wan-Bissaka should be nowhere near that team. He should have been playing last week. He should have been playing the couple of weeks before. I do not understand why Dalot was dropped. And then you have Ronaldo again. Just classic Ronaldo, innit? When the team's down. He's 4 off Emerson, I think it is, in a little bit of handbags in the box, shoved him out of the way, and then he's gone a rose, I think, above Dyer and just absolutely powered it into the net. What a header. They're the type of goals that others cannot score, and I won't mention the names when I'm saying about GOATs, but he can, in today's game, he's shown that he's got everything. Outside the area, Fox in the box, incredible in the air, the desire to win, the leadership. He had everything today, and I don't want to get carried away because we've got a game midweek against Atletico, and it'll be an extremely tough game. I think they'll be a lot more defensively compact than Spurs are. I mean, Spurs are there to be got at, as we know. Just like we are, as I've said, we're two teams that are the same. We're fighting for fourth, both open at the back and both got the players to damage you on the counter-attack. I mean, without Ronaldo, that game probably is an absolute snooze fest of a 1-1 or something when all it is scrappy in midfield, nobody can keep possession, which is what the game was for nearly the whole game, apart from Ronaldo bagging 3 and Spurs scoring in a penalty in an own goal. There's really no quality there, was there, bar Ronaldo and maybe Sancho. Rashford, I thought, was better, but still poor. I mean, he just wasn't wanting the game, was he, really? Yeah, he ran and tracked back a little bit. Hopefully this can be a stepping stone that he sees that he needs to continue down this route of just working hard and playing simple, and eventually what Rashford's good at will hopefully come back. His goal scoring, his confidence, his pacing behind. But I think he just needs to have 2 or 3 games where he's just a 6, 7 out of 10, where he gets himself back in the groove of just being part of the team. And I think that's a stepping stone where he started today. So yeah, I'll quickly whip through my ratings. I mean, De Gea, not a lot he can do, is there? 6. He's barely made a save the whole game, apart from us handing them stuff on a plate. So 6. Dalot, I'd probably give him a 6, 6.5. I thought he was decent, Dalot, today. I mean, I might be being a bit harsh, because normally when players play well in other games, I'll give him a 6, but I'll give Dalot a 6.5. I'll be generous today because they've won. And I thought he was decent. I'll give him a 6.5. I'll give Maguire, I'll give him a 5. He wasn't horrendous. He scored an own goal. He'd have got a 6 without scoring an OG. Varane, we just look better with Varane. He might be quiet in games, but he obviously, he does something to that back 4 to make them more of a unit. He must communicate so much better than anyone else that we've got. And obviously his pace helps, so we've conceded 2, so none of them are his fault. I'll give him a 7, Varane. I just don't think we ever look like getting pasted with Varane in the team. He completely changes that back line. Telles, I really liked Tellers today. I'm going to give him a 7.5. I thought he was good. What can I say? Just decent left-back performance, delivery, tenacious, winning the ball back. What else can you ask for him? Now for the midfield, this is an interesting one with Fred and Matic, who I think I did put in my midfield in the prediction. And it worked because Matic just sits there. Yeah, he's a bit slow now and he can get run past, and it happened a couple of times today. But I think if you're going to be playing, I think you've got to play Matic and one of Fred or McTominay. I just don't think Fred and McTominay work as a pair. And then you can change it later on like he did where he brought Matic off and you put Pogba back in there, or you could even bring McTominay on. Obviously he won't fit or whatever today, but I think it gives Fred a lot more licence to do what he did today and pick the ball up and drive with it a bit. He was making some decent passes and stuff today, Fred, because you're getting the ball a bit higher up the pitch. We know what he's like. He's tenacious. He makes up a bit for Matic's lack of legs. But Matic is always there. He's always in the right position, sat to mop things up when it goes beyond Fred. And that's the one thing that if McTominay's going to be a long-term CDM for us, which I don't think he is. I don't think there is a lot of people that think he is, apart from people in that club. He needs to study the way Matic plays that position and just do it with a bit more pace. Because he's such a calming effect on our midfield, Matic. I mean, I'd love to know a stat with Matic when he's played. Like, what ratings Fred and McTominay, whoever's played next to him's got him in the games we've won and lost with him, because I think we're just better with Matic. And then, so I'll give Matic a 6.5 maybe, and I'll give Fred, I'll be generous on Fred today, I'll give him an 8. But we're going to get everyone saying Fred, Pasta, Fred, he's amazing, Fred, absolutely unreal. You know, in midweek when he plays against Atletico Madrid, he's going to be a 4. So I aren't changing my mind on Fred. Until Fred gives a 7 or 8 performance for 3 or 4 weeks in a row, to me, he still can be shipped off down the transfer window in the summer. One decent game for Fred a month. It'd be interesting to know if they're all next to Matic and not McTominay as well. And we are going to get on to Jadon Sancho, who I thought had a really good game today, Sancho. He's doing everything that Rashford should be doing. Tracks back. He drives with the ball when he knows he can drive with the ball. He passes in and out 1-2s. That ball across to Ronaldo for the second goal. It's a simple ball, but he gets it right in a critical moment. I'd give Sancho 7.5. I think I'm going to go for 7.5 for Sancho. And Rashford, on the other side, I'll give him... I mean, like I said earlier, I'll give him a 5 for what I said earlier, that he looks like he's trying to become more involved, trying to do the basics before he's getting on top of himself now, trying to do too much. So I've been giving him 3s, I think, maybe 4s at best. I'll just give him a 5. I don't think he was as bad today as he has been, but he's nowhere near what he needs to be. And Ronaldo, the GOAT, with a hat-trick. He's won that game for us pretty much single-handedly. Without him, we're not winning that game. And can I remind you all, the reason we're still in a top 4 race at this moment in time today is because of Ronaldo. And the reason why we're playing Atletico Madrid on Tuesday night is Ronaldo. So where would we be without him? Why is everyone hating on Ronaldo? I don't get it. Yeah, he's not scored for a few games. He's the best player of all time. We'll see what happens on Tuesday, because I think he'll definitely start, especially after bagging a hat-trick. But just on today's game, I'm going to give him... it's probably going to give me my only one and only opportunity to give someone a 10. So I'm going to give Ronaldo a 10. Can you believe it? A 10. A hat-trick against Spurs. pulled us through the game with some class, showed all the leadership. I think his actual general in-game play was very good. He was linking up with Pogba and Sancho. So even without the goals, I think Ronaldo had a very good performance. With the goals on top and just the way he come into that game, the attitude he had, you could tell he wanted to win today. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 10. And I am going to leave this video here now because I need to get off to football myself. So hit the like, favourite, subscribe, all that jazz. I'll be back hopefully with a preview for the Atletico game sometime tomorrow. So tune in if you see me, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.